Robert Zahavi is one of Australia's top car builders and the owner of Rides by KAM on the Gold Coast.
1990 I started the motor trimming side of the business. 10 years into that, we started the importing side of it. You know, I sort of wanted more. So then it started to evolve a little bit there, and I started doing a lot more work on my cars. And then my customers were pretty much asking me, can you do it for me? And in the beginning, I sort of didn't want to do anything else for customers because I had no pressure on myself. So, but when I'm doing it for a customer, you know, it had to be right and had to be perfect. And so we sort of evolved into the sort of one-stop shop.
After debuting his '69 Camaro named Camaro at Maguire's Motorex in 2010, it went on to take America by storm and took centre stage on the Maguire's stand at SEMA, a very prestigious honour. The car gained Rob recognition in the US market, which is a place he's now looking to crack.
You know, when you're in Australia and trying to set up something in the States, it's like going from something this big to this big, and you're this tiny little fish in the pond, you know?
To do this, he needed a new car to build. Something ahead of the curve, but a classic. And so, the KAM Nova idea was born. And after an exhaustive 8-month build, the car was debuted at the 2014 Maguire's Motorex, one of the most prestigious honours for an Australian car builder.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Robert here with KAM Nova. Ladies, let's pull out the cover. And we're about to unveil a serious black Chevy Nova.
It's a 1970 Chevy Nova. We purchased it from a couple in California. It was a one-owner car. As soon as I got back to Australia, I sketched the car out in detail to what it is today.
The car arrived in Australia in June 2013 and the build began straight away.
The original car I drew out first to detail. And the good thing about being able to draw and actually build cars is you know what will and won't work.
The build was very intense, with over 2,500 man-hours put in by Rob alone, let alone his staff, family, and very few external contractors required for some extra work and parts. The build alone could make its own 2-hour feature. It's so comprehensive.
I really wanted people to see what we went through to build it and what we had to do to get to where it is today. So that was probably my main reason, and also for myself, so I can go back and have a look at it and just, you know, when you're actually building the car, you really don't take it in. And even when it's finished, you still don't take it in. And it's probably only up until now where I've actually started to take the car in, because I'm actually getting to feel the car, getting to drive it, getting to feel its good things, its bad things, whatever. Basically building a relationship with the car now.
Every part of the car has been modified, cut, welded and smoothed to perfection. The key is not what you can see or notice, but what you can't.
I always wanted to keep a lot of the lines similar to my Camaro. I kept a lot of the factory body lines, but obviously I wanted to change it a bit. So we've actually done an 80mm sill drop all the way around this car, usually around all these window frames and the rear window frames and the bonnet is alloy molds, and we've actually incorporated we've built them out of steel basically and made the car as exact same shape as if it's got the moulds on it, but it hasn't got the moulds anymore. Hand-built undercarriage in-house at our shop. We've extended the front and rear bars by 80mm as well. The front bar used to have big ugly rectangle lights and we've changed it to a nice and modern round light. The front and rear bars used to hang out the car like probably 50mm, and as you can see we've tucked them probably 80mm front and rear, 40mm each side. So I mean the list goes on forever with the modifications that are done on this car that are subtle that a lot of people would not know unless they knew a Chevy Nova.
One of the most important parts of the car is the colour. It may look black, and it is, but there is multiple shades and textures of black. Rob worked with Owen Webb and the team from Motoractive and House of Colour to get the perfect combination. The exterior is actually two-tone, with Orion silver added to the black on the bottom and jet black over the top.
Everything was black, and I'm talking like, you know, we did black hoses, black hose ends, black this, black everything, and it's really actually hard to do everything black, like, because not everything's painted black. There's a lot of black anodizing, and when you got all 3 or 4 different blacks, like whether it be paint powder coat or anodizing, it's very easy to get variations in colours. So it was actually a hell of a lot harder than I thought to do that.
The bodywork houses the billet specialty wheels to perfection. 20 inches up front and 22 inches at the rear, helped out by the airbags attached to the custom spindles and A-arm suspension up front and the mini-tubbed and 4-link equipped rear end. The custom-made Brembo brakes are enormous. 400mm rotors with 6-pot calipers up front and 380mm rotors with 4-pot calipers at the rear. The engine is one of the standout features. A 572 cubic inch Chev. Symmetry is the main theme in the engine bay, starting with the custom symmetrical superchargers, which leads to the symmetrical blow-off valves, as well as the PWR intercooler and radiator, and header tanks and filler necks. A neat touch to a very tough engine built by Jake's Performance, which will easily see over 1,500 horsepower.
Probably the first to have to be the motor. I mean, it's 1.3 metres wide. It's ridiculous. And it's the sort of thing, as soon as you pop the hood or the bonnet, everyone just goes, what the?
Having started in the trimming industry, the interior is as exceptional as you would expect. Everything was custom made pretty much from scratch, and the oval theme continued throughout before being trimmed in burgundy leather. Dakota Digital and Billet specialty products fill the cabin along with Pioneer audio gear. As flawless as the car is, Rob still believes in one thing: that cars are built to be driven.
Well, really, when you look at the big picture, I don't know who would want to pump 200-300 grand into a car and just look at it. Like, you want to give it a bit of a flogging for putting you through so much shit building it. So, you know, you want to be able to enjoy your creation as well as looking at it and enjoy it. So, and the Camaro got chips on it, but it still looks good. A little bit of brush touch. It's, you know, you've got to use it, man.
The plan for the car is to attend Summer Nats in January 2015 before heading to the US in April.
I suppose SEMA show is an industry show, whereas the Good Guys show is a public show. So, and it's one of their biggest and best shows. You've got to drive the racetrack to be eligible for Street Machine of the Year in America. So we have to do like 20, 30 laps of the racetrack. And they're not lap times or anything, but you've got to prove it drives, stops, you know, for more than 5 minutes. We're going to be basically doing a lot of other shows. We'll do some, there's one called Hot August Nights, we'll do that. We're probably even going to do the Power Cruise event in July in America, because Gareth came up to me yesterday and was like, yeah, you got to bring it, you got to bring it. So, and then it'll be like a lead-up effect to SEMA show again. It'll be back at SEMA again, which will be next year. So as many Australians as we can get over there for that one would be awesome. I mean, my wife, she'd have to be one of the biggest reasons that I probably got through it easier, because I felt so bad not being home for her and the kids, you know, like working 18 hours a day, you don't see anyone. And I did this from October last year, so, you know, you're talking probably an 8-month period where it was just crazy hours, 7 days a week. So, yeah, you know, my wife was so understanding with that, which to me, that makes a big importance, because if she's got the shits in the build, the whole thing's over, mate. Happy wife, happy life. So.